All right, I use this last videos to look just at add a little more detail to this. And I talk about some of these things in the textbook, and I think they're kind of important to think about. And this one, the first part's going to reflect, the first two parts will reflect a little bit about the US. So one of them is, well, the definition of a household, because most of these inequality measures are done using household data, because it can be a little bit difficult to disentangle individual data. And some individuals in the household have things to consume, but they don't have their own income because they're sharing the family pot. So definition of household, the share of common pot of food. Okay, so sit down together at a dinner table. It doesn't mean you actually have to sit down together. You might be sitting down together in front of the couch, in front of the TV, but the fact that you are, eating out of the same fridge kind of thing, then you are a household. So in the U.S., there has been major changes in household structure. And when that happens, it has a big effect on inequality. So a big part of the change in inequality in the US is not necessarily due to that some people are getting higher incomes than they did before and some people are getting lower. There is that aspect, that is part of it. But a big part of it is the change in the household structure. Okay, so from the 1970s until early 2000s, kind of that change. So the two big changes that happened. One, many more single mother households than before. Single mother households were extremely uncommon back in like the 1960s, and by 1990s, 2000s have become fairly common. Okay, and this is kind of two things going on. So one, you have a household with one income. Okay, so that's part of the issue. And the second thing is there's also a gender wage gap. So on average, women are earning less than men. And so that is then compounding that kind of issue, right? So the biggest number of households in poverty, a big number, are single mother households. Okay. Second group, there's more dual income households than before. So these two opposite things are happening at the same time. So of the households who have, of the households who are two adults, or sometimes more than two adults, but two adult households, of the households, let's say with children, more and more of them are dual income households, right? So, and of course, two incomes is better than one. So this two things has greatly increased income inequality amongst households in the U.S. So a big part of the change is not necessarily a change to the structure of the economy, although are changes to the structure of the economy. A big part of the change is changes to the structure of the household. Okay, because dual income households have become so much more common, and single mother households, single parent households in general, but especially single mother households have become so much more common. And these two groups then are being pushed further away because of these factors going on. So the definition of household is definitely important when we're looking at income inequality. And changes to the household can then have really big effects on the numbers we measure.